Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem Yikakadash. Yahweh in the name of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shah in the name of His only begotten Son, who they ignorantly call Jesus Christ. Now, when you look at the birth rates of white America, it is on the decline. And so, this has been talked about by many people, and when this became a concern, you saw they went to pushing for the abortions to stop. And so when you think about how people say a child is a blessing from God, see, a child is a blessing. That is a clear indication that, okay, this nation of people is not being blessed. Because if you being blessed, that's when you multiplying, having children. Because I think it's Ecclesiasticus, it might be 25 and 7. I'll post it in the comments. It says that 9 things that make a man happy, and the 10th thing is when a man enjoy his children, or something about his children. So that's one of them things that make a person happy or feel blessed, because that's what that blessed goes back to, happy. And so these people are not blessed. That's a clear indication that they are cursed. And that matches the nation of Edom in the Bible. When you go to Isaiah 34 and 5, it says that the sword of the Lord was going to come down upon Idumea, meaning his weapon of destruction, that waster that was made to destroy, that weapon that would not prosper against the Israelites, but that weapon was going to prosper against the children of ESAU. And this goes along with Obadiah, when it says, I have made thee small among the nations. How is he making them small? Their birth rates. See, it's more of them, because to say the Lord killeth him, he make alive in 1 Samuel 2 and 3. So 2 and 6. He's killing more of them than he's helping them multiply with, birthing them into the world. See, where they say the Lord killeth and he make alive. So he's making more of them die than he's making them come alive. See, in that one verse, he's telling you the whole thing. In that one verse, he's showing you how he got control of these nations. And he told the nation of Edom he was going to decrease their numbers. And they was going to be cursed. Then in Isaiah 63, it says that the second coming was Yahweh, who they ignorantly call Jesus Christ, was going to come to Edom and to Bozrah. See, there was going to be a day of his vengeance. See, then when you go on, and then not only that, they say their blood, meaning the Edomites' blood, would be on his garment like he was stomping some grapes, trying to make wine. Then in Revelation 19, it showed you the same picture, where his garment was dipped in blood, and his name was the Word of God. See, all that goes back to the nation of Edom. And we know who's ruling and who has the armies, because when you go to Google and you look who has the armies. All you gotta do is plug in how many military bases do the U.S. have. They're gonna tell you in the United States, in the 50 states, United States have 400 to 500 military bases. Then, when you go into how many military bases is in the world, they're gonna tell you that America has 750 in the world, and then you got Russia with 36, 3 dozens. You got China with 3 military bases, and the rest pretty much is owned by America. That's why in Isaiah 63 it talks about Bosra. Then when you go into Jeremiah 49, it's talking. The end of Jeremiah is all about Edom also. Chapter 49, 50, and 51. And Jeremiah lets you know that Edom is going to be pretty much the end of the world. He was giving you 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter, verse 9. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. And that goes right along with Lamentations 4 and 22, where Edom would no more take the Israelites into captivity, or the children of Jacob into captivity, and let them build up their kingdom. But the Lord was going to make Edom pay for the sins that they committed now, for the wickedness that they've been committing, and they going to have to do what the Israelites had to do, build up their kingdom. You see? Because that's why you got Negroes and Hispanics saying we built the country. We was doing all the hard labor, but we at the bottom. And that's what's going to happen to the Edomites. That's why you had Revelation 13 and 10 telling you those who went into captivity, they going to put the other people in captivity who put them in captivity. And that was going to be the faith of the saints. See, it made it a point to tell you what the faith of the saints was. See, it made it a point to tell you that the faith of the saints is going to be slavery, man. They're going to put their slave masters in slavery. That's going to be the main faith of the saints. And so, the birth rate of these so-called white people tells it all. It puts them with the nation of Edom. And so this America, which is Bosra, that's in Revelation 18, 17, and Revelations 12, 13, and Revelations 12. Because at first it calls them a red dragon with 7 heads. Then it goes to 13 and calls them a scarlet beast. Same thing. Red dragon and scarlet beast is the same thing. Scarlet means red. A dragon is a beast. Both of them had 7 heads and 10 horns. Daniel 7 gave you the same breakdown. That they gonna have 7 heads and 10 horns. Or it pretty much brought out the 10 horns. And the 10 horns was going to be the 4th kingdom, which was the last beast to rule. You see? And so, all of this is pointing to the so-called white man. And that's why this abortion thing is on the table, because they trying to stop the birth rates to bring themselves out of the negative. Because if the birth rates is not doing better than the death rate, they're gonna be in the negative, and they're gonna keep decreasing. And then you got the the fornication, which Babylon would show you that they Babylon the Great, because they doing this fornication, illegal sex, meaning random sex, same sex with the same gender. You have bestiality. You have them messing with people's kids, pedophile. All of this is identifying this place to be Babylon the Great. Pushing porneia. That porneia is not spiritual. That porneia can be spiritual, but it's not just spiritual. That's what I want to say, because you can understand how the Most High have double layered prophecies, meaning it could be a prophecy talking about one time, but really spiritually talking about another time. Like Egypt, Revelation 11 and 8, it talks about spiritual Egypt and Sodom, calling America Sodom, meaning that they will have Sodomites in America, in this great city. And that great city is America, man. And this is why he's after these people. In Ezekiel 35, it says, Idumea or Edom or Mount Seir, I have set my face against you. And he told his prophets to prophesy against Mount Seir. See, to prophesy against America and what they bringing. Because these people is shedding the blood of the children of Israel. How are they shedding the blood? Through abortions, through all kind of wicked avenues of giving them cancer, persuading them to eat unclean foods, poison in the water, poison in the food, poison in the air. You see, giving them false philosophies and theologies that's getting them put in the grave, because they persuaded them, deceived them to reject God's laws. And so this is what's going on with America and the people that's in rulership. That's why in Deuteronomy 28 and 44, it said he will be the head and you will be the tail. Y'all gonna be in the same place. Y'all gonna be in this spiritual Egypt, but this spiritual Egypt, this great city, which is America, it's gonna have some people at the head and some people gonna be the tail. And the Israelites is gonna be the tail because they were breaking God's laws, and he gonna put them, he sent their enemies against them. And so all of that was gonna come to an end. That's what Lamentations 4 and 22 was breaking down, that it was gonna come to an end. And that's what Ezekiel 35 and 5 was talking about. When their captivity, punishment came to an end, they still was shedding the blood. When this great tribulation, Jacob trouble happened, it's going to happen at the end of their captivity. And they're going to be shedding the blood of the Israelites on the highest level possible. That's why it's called Jacob's trouble. So we right at the brink of that all coming to a head. That's what Habakkuk 2, chapter 2, either verse 2 or verse 3, talking about the vision shall speak at the end. The end of the captivity is when that vision is going to speak. And those visions was all talking about the end of the captivity. Joel chapter 3, Joel chapter 2, Amos chapter 9, Jeremiah from 49 to 51, Isaiah talked about the end of the captivity. That was a major vision that was going to be displayed to the prophets. And Jeremiah 28:8 say the prophets is going to talk against these kingdoms like America and the so-called white men, which are the Edomites, and the devil that the Bible speaks of, the deceiver, the adversary of God, Satan. See, he never was talking about some fallen angel. He was talking about somebody was going to be a deceiver. That's why it said he deceived all nations. See, that's what he was all about, deception. Calling themselves white when nobody is white. You either red or brown. You either pale or you got a dark tan. See, it's only two. When you go into biology books, they gonna tell you that it's only two skin conditions. It's albinism, and then it's no albinism. You regular, and the albinism is when your genes are recessive and you don't have melanin. The pigment is not being produced in your skin, and that goes back to Esau. He came out red. He came out as an albino, and he was probably mating with all the albinos so they could keep that nation looking the same. But basically, the foundation of the nation was going to be clean leprosy, albinism. And that's how pretty much Esau is going to be the end of the world. They're going to end in slavery. And the birth rates is just the beginning of the situation. But it's an identifying mark on them, just like Cain. He was that adversarial spirit in the garden. And the Lord put a mark on him. That's why in Hosea 12:10 it talks about the prophets using similitudes. See, the Lord used similitudes all through the Bible. He do things in a similar way so you can have an understanding of how he operates. But I just want to make that in transit. And I'm going to give that all praises to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shah, by Hashem and Kakadash. Double honor to the elders pushing the truth. Peace to the elect worldwide. Our kingdom is at hand. Shalom.